Oh, it's okay, we're live.
Yay! Okay, good. We are live. Good afternoon, everybody who is at least here in the UK. Good morning for those of you who are watching in the States with your cup of coffee. And hello if you're doing a hashtag replay, because I've got no idea what time you're doing this on, but we'd love to know. My name is Helena.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors, and coaches to build a portfolio business on your terms. And today we are doing a Facebook Live all on creating online courses that your avatar will buy. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about how all of that came about. But before that, to let you arrive and to make sure that Kelly's kind of sending out things out into the Connection Hub. If you're not a member in the Connection Hub, please do come and join us inside there. It is the place where speakers, authors, and coaches hang out. And we've got some information about that in a moment as well. But we really, or for those of you who are watching us inside Changemaker, our membership, then hi to you as well, which is really good. So the buzz in our business is the bit where we love to hear from you. What's actually happening? What are you creating, producing, taking part in, being, sharing out in some way, shape or form? What's got you interested, excited, or being around? So Taruna says hi, which is good. So if it looks like I'm looking above you every now and then, it's because I'm looking at the comments that are coming.
I'm looking at the comments on here. This is how we adapt when we're in different houses, right?
which is how it sort of needs to work. So the buzz in our business, just so that you're aware, is we are really proud to say that we have built over the last 2 years or so a community of 6,000 now 6,500 members, and we're really proud of the culture that we've created in there. There are conversations that take place, there are opportunities that happen, and really, it is a great place to hang out and find out the information, whether you're a seasoned professional and you've been in the industry for a long time, or whether you're just getting started. There is something for everyone in there.
And however, in the comments, if you're not part of it, then join. I've managed to get that in there.
So Jo Fellows, the buzz in her business is that her new web pages are going live. Woohoo!
And we've been seeing the progress of that in Changemaker Central, and they look very good. Good job, man.
And it's a great thing to actively kind of unveil something that happens in here. Taruna says the buzz in my business is that I've been invited onto a podcast, made new connections, and secured another client. You have to love a little bit of that, don't you? So the buzz in our business, as I say, we've got 6,500 members. And one of the things that we are beginning to see a lot of, and I think this is part of the, if you like, the growing pains, once you get to that tipping point and the next tipping point in some way, what we're seeing is that a lot of new members joining are not reading our rules and they're basically spamming the group. So we know that many of you are not prone to doing this, and you are vehemently protective of our environment. So what we've decided to do for a little while is to turn on post approval for all members so that we can continue having the sort of supportive, non-spamming, really informative group that we've been nurturing and that you love hanging out in. So please, 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 for those of you who are used to kind of just putting whatever you are putting in there, asking your questions in that way, you haven't done anything wrong. We're simply, sort of saying we're waiting on approval so that we can help guide and teach people how to be inside our group to make the most of it.
And I think we're learning, we're only a few steps ahead of some of you, and some of you are further ahead in this side of things, of size of groups. So we like to share our progress because we never teach anything that we haven't done ourselves, and we document it for you to learn our mistakes and also our wins. Yeah. And when we got to the group, we always said 5,000 was the pivot point where we knew that actually, are we going to lose the culture of our group that we've been building so hard? Are we going to lose it when we get to that amount of members in there, especially when new people join and not everyone reads our welcome videos or our posts, etc. Yeah. And so what as many of you know from Helena and myself, we work on this business 1 day a week on average. This is a Tuesday. So we have times where Helena and I will go into the Connection Hub. So 4 times a day, half an hour each at those times. And that's when we will go through and scroll through everything. Yeah. Now, we didn't think it was fair. This is the reason why we turned on post approval for people who are new to the group to put something in there about their own promo. They've not even introduced themselves.
Yeah.
And basically get access to promote to 7,000 people, 6,500 people. So therefore, it made it easier for us to turn post approval on for everybody. Then only the legitimate posts go through. You don't get spammed. We don't have to be thinking that, oh my God, we need to be in there all the time responding to people's comments and deleting promo posts. So it's a really good learning for us. Yes, for the first year or two, we had post approval off and the culture was building and we were learning. Now it's so big and we get so many posts, we can't keep up with it, even with admins, unless we're in there all of the time. So this is our solution. We're going to try it on. We're going to hopefully, your post will only be sitting there waiting to be approved for an hour or two max, right? So we know that it's not going to limit or reduce the amount of connection or engagement in the group. It's just going to help filter and keep our culture that we're so proud of.
Yeah, which you of course helped to create. So we really hope you understand that. And as Kelly says, this is about us demonstrating as much as possible how to build a business on your terms. And so that makes a massive difference for us. On our terms means being able to serve people, and actively being watchdogs isn't what works for that. So, and we're pretty sure that that's also true for you. So yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Now, there are two other bits of buzz I'm just going to share before I share the other bit of buzz. So Andrea says, I think the buzz is in my head, having to learn how to use MS Teams for a client's training going online, and they're not allowed to use Zoom. Oh my head.
She's only just mastered Zoom, now she's got to learn the other one.
But, and there is an incremental thing around learning bits of technology that hopefully will make it easier and easier, and you start to make the links across what different things do. But I wish you all the best, and remember to put good music on whilst you're learning. That's good.
Oh, hang on a minute. I've lost. Oh, your mic went. I couldn't hear you for a minute.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. You're going to read the sharers out too?
Yes, I am. So the buzz in my business is that I'm running out of excuses not to have one, i.e. a business. And I got my lovely podcast mic last week. Woohoo!
Well, you're lucky, because when we see some of our clients, people are trying to get microphones on Amazon and they're all sold out. So webcams and microphones. So
there's a whole black market deal on those going on at the moment. I'm sure the darker economy is absolutely pushing in on people doing all of this. We shall see. So the other bit of buzz in our business, so that we can actively kind of share some of this, we've rabbited for long enough, I'm sure, is that we have actually completed our new course, How to Deliver Digitally. And it teaches you how to create online programs. And that's really what we're going to cover a little bit of in this live. Obviously, we're not going to cover the whole thing because that would keep you here for a very long time. But if you think about it, when Corona first hit, we really started asking everyone in our groups, in our networks, what their biggest need was, and the top vote was absolutely, we did it in polls, we did just general asking in all sorts of ways. And the thing that came out on top was really how to create online courses. How do I take what I currently do or what I currently know and turn it into something that can be consumable whilst people are at home? So what we did was we pushed aside what was in the current plan and pulled in what was actively more needed and required. And we always say to you, you should always be listening to what your avatar is wanting and needing. Go on.
Tim's saying you're muffled, Helena. Can you use a mic?
Yeah, I can pop my headset.
They're all sold out, Tim. This is the problem.
That's all right. That's all right. I live in a geeky household. I can do this. I can fix this. Right. So hang on 2 seconds. Just let me know how poppy it is. Let me just see whether that's going to change it by itself. Has it changed it by itself? How's that?
It's much clearer. For me, it is. Tim, just give us a thumbs up if that's worked for you.
So I will talk to you so that it's there. So what we've basically done for the last 2 weeks, bearing in mind that we're in two separate houses, we're normally kind of the one day together when we're creating things like this, we would do together. We have, planned it, we've filmed it, we've edited it, we've uploaded it, we've created our documentation every step of the way and put that into. Yeah, that's exactly it. So we spent a little bit more time than we would normally together, but making this so that you can all extract again what's in your heads and put it into something useful that is part of your business model or structure.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we're going to share a little bit about that as we go.
So they're saying it's much clearer. Thanks to
I can see that. Thanks for saying it.
And so, and this is because, we're all looking at different ways. The fact that we have to do, even our lives differently, with like mentioning comments on phones and not having our devices here. We're all learning how to adapt differently. And as Helena said, having a digital program allows you to access people in a way that you wouldn't have had to before. But it also, even outside of Coronaville times, we say that this is an online course is a really key element to a portfolio business, because it expands your reach, because you're not swapping time for money, because it helps you position your pricing for what you actually bespokely create and what's already out there as a one-stop shop for general information. We think it's a really good asset for you to have. And what we decided to do on this live was actually take the content of just one section of the course that we've created, which is all about what the do's and don'ts are. Purely because Helena and I have, like, in various different guises, working with other people and working with our own clients, have supported, over a few hundred people to create their online courses. Yeah. We've been involved in launches of flagship courses. We've done all this type of thing, so we know what the steps are from the early stage, which is actually where Helena and our passion and purpose really falls into, which is actually helping you get clarity on you, your positioning, your why, your purpose, your avatar. That's our real sweet spot, which a lot of people forget and don't start with products there. Then we go through the whole clarity of what's the course, who's it for, market research. Then it's all into how to structure courses, how to film, how to edit, how to upload, and then down to selling. So this whole spectrum is what we've been focusing on over the last 2 weeks, because it's not what our core thing of teaching is. No. Right? Because we, in our Changemaker Essential membership, I know we've got members on here, our primary thing is to teach you how to run a business. Right? So that's where our strengths are, of all the system structure, how everything runs together, project managing your business. And yes, in our monthly teachers, we've already got a webinar in there on how to create online courses, because we direct you into the places, but that's not our thing. However, we know that you all wanted this information in the Connection Hub, because this is what was voted for the most. I need to know how to do this now. Yeah. And we know there are people that charge thousands of pounds to do this. We wanted you to get, the whole greenhouse effect of how to do this, learn it, so you've got the insight of knowing the choices to make in a really accessible price as well. So people, don't have to break the bank in times where actually you're probably quite money struck potentially. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover in this points from all of our experiences of our own courses, our clients' courses, and people that we've been commissioned to build courses for, all the mistakes that they make, so that you don't make them yourself. And this will give you a platform to, if you're thinking of doing online courses, what to consider right now, so that you're making the right decisions for you. So we're going to go through like 5 or 6 of the main points that we see, common mistakes, common reasons why the courses don't sell, and also the common mistakes that people get where they actually don't get to the end of creating their course. It just stays a bit of a, oh, I'd love to have that one day. Yeah. So,
rather than taking two weeks out and going, right, I'm going to focus on this, and that's what we're going to do. Sort of we in our case, you in your case. Kieran saying hi.
Oh, hi, Kieran. I see a few more people watching. Cool. That's brilliant. All right. So the first mistake that we make, and we talk about this quite a lot, is that in courses, because you guys want to serve so much, because you care so much, it actually sometimes goes to your detriment, because you put too much information into courses, right? And so what happens is in the course that we've just put together, we illustrate the difference between a short and a long, or a flagship signature course and a problem-solving course. We explain the difference between where they sit in your product funnel. And I would probably say, if you're new to online courses, you're probably thinking at the moment, oh, creating an online course is probably the shorter course. So something like under £500, something that you know that your avatar has a need for, and that's probably where your focus is now. Majority of people, where they're thinking of online courses, it's that rather than the big flagship signature program. When you're thinking of these short online courses, because you want to help them so much, you actually put too much information in than they are actually able to cope, communicate, and comprehend and action at the time when they're in a certain problem, situation, or they have a certain need. Because what you attempt to do is give them all the information that you know that they need, but actually they only want this right now. So when, Helena talks about, not being able to see the wood for the trees scenario, because you overwhelm them with too much information. So when you're creating a short course, one of the things is that we help you with this is reverse engineering from one main outcome. Now that outcome could be, your course could be teaching them how to develop a new skill or a new found knowledge that they're looking for, specific thing, right? If you wanted to learn, I don't know, how to learn Spanish, which is what I'm currently doing on a free app, then okay, it's like, what do you want? Do you want to be able to speak it, write it, listen to it, blah, blah, that's what the app says. What's your goal? How much time? How much do you want to put into this? What do you want by the end? I have no idea what is going on.
Sorry, Tim is now writing, nodding.
Good. So that's the thing. If it is like our course is our main outcome, is that you will have a course in 3.5 weeks completed if you do what we say in this program. That's the outcome, right? So we're not then talking about, how a course can fit into a membership site and how a course can, how to run your budgets and create a business plan, and where that's all the stuff that we do in our membership site, right? The course just solves the problem on how to create digital programs. So one of the things is that don't get so enthusiastic that you need to blurb and verbal diarrhea everything to them, because you will overwhelm them, you will confuse them. And the problem is they won't take action, right? They'll be like, oh my God. I mean, I looked at a couple of courses recently because people are giving away a lot of free stuff at the moment. I'm just, I'm interested in this. And it was like 8.5 hours worth of content in hour-long chunks.
Yeah.
For a course that was under £100. And I was like, oh my God, like I was even too overwhelmed to even start it.
Yeah.
So think about what's the one outcome that your problem or your course can solve for them, and then just ensure that every bit of content earns the right to be in that course. It's not buffer, it's not bump, it's not, this would be nice to throw this and this and this in with it. It needs to say it's essential in order to hit that outcome that content is in that course. Yeah. If it's not, then it's extra and it's noise.
Do you get that we can both be a bit soapboxy about this? Like we have literally stripped back hundreds of people's courses in the planning stages. So actually this was an exercise in discipline for the two of us, and we've literally created, you will see inside the course, we've literally created the bullet by bullet point piece so that you can see where it actually sits. Kelly alluded to this one. So too much info, absolutely the key kind of bugbear for both of us. Don't overwhelm them, don't overgive before they actively have gotten engaged with you. It's just, or at least gotten a solvable thing for a tangible step for their problem. So that's one piece. Marva says hello, Tina says hello, and
if they get it, yeah, I know, actual proper lol, I get it.
I know, right? It's like, oh yes, okay, good, right? So we can get off that soapbox. So Kelly alluded to you already. I know, right? I'm going to do my best. I'm going to be gentle with this one. Gentle. But Kelly's alluded to this one already. Don't make it too long. Don't make me sit for too long trying to figure out what the steps are that I need to take. A maximum of 10 minutes or so for one key thing that needs to be learned is a much better and more digestible bite-sized piece that somebody can actively then do something with. And it's more engaging, and you can make it into different styles. So, expecting someone to sit with you for an hour, knowing that there are, in Kelly's case, another 7 hours to go in order to get there, they're either going to just switch off straight away, or they're going to want it to be hugely entertaining, massively valuable, so that they're going to take their precious time, which of course at the moment especially is being interrupted by, in our case, dogs, children, going shopping, going shopping, i.e. it can take you 2 hours to go shopping where it used to take you 20 minutes, etc. So there's all sorts of things vying for their attention. So don't make your course fall flat on its face before you've even kind of given it the chance to provide the solution that you wanted to. So don't make it too long. Cut the modules down into 10-minute chunks. They would much rather have that. And I know we're going to talk about this anyway, but on some of the marketplaces, certainly the comparison chart that we've been sharing out for people, in the marketplaces that do it, they actively make you cut it down for exactly this reason. People want to be able to take action and feel satisfied with that action before moving on to a new one.
So that might be a buzzword for some people. What Helena means by marketplaces are sites like Udemy, Groupon, LinkedIn Learning, those sites where they market your courses for you. So we talk about that in a little bit later.
Yeah.
So one of the other things that we probably see actually with all product launches, not just online courses, is that people don't do the market research or the testing before they create the course, right? And this is so important, because one of the reasons courses don't sell, one is because we just covered the thing that it's too confusing and it's too overwhelming, it's too long, blah, blah, blah. But the main reason people don't sell their courses is because they haven't actually found out beforehand whether their avatar needs it and will spend money purchasing it at the price that you've decided for it. So these are really important things. And we spend a lot of time in our course giving you a lot of different ways to do market research. Because when you understand, and a lot of our change makers are watching this at the moment from our membership platform, and they're currently doing this with all of their products and webinars, etc. But when you understand what your avatar wants, the language that they use to describe their problem, and also how important that situation is to them. Is it, what I call a someday I'll, it's a nice to have, but actually in times when, the budgets are limited, times are limited, your focus is limited, what are their essential needs? If you haven't found that out beforehand and you just think, I know my avatar would love this. Well, they might love it, but it might not be a priority for them.
Yeah.
And also we did a live about this a few weeks ago about, have you asked the question, what do they need right now? Now, remember, we didn't have this course that we've created on our agenda at all. We've already talked about it in our membership site, but we never had it as a potential product.
Yeah.
What we saw from you guys was constant questions and polls and demands for, how do I do this? What do I do? Blah, 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 blah. And not just in our group, in other groups. So we had to go, they're asking for this, they need this, we know the answers, let's respond to it and do it that way. That's the type of market research that you need to be doing. And we talk about something I'm sure many of you are familiar with. I used to be in business with John and Jeff Walker from Product Launch, and their book called Launch. Covers the concept of seed launching. And we sort of tweak that a bit in this course and give you a whole profile on how to do seed launching that actually will create the content for an online course for you, which you know will sell, because it's all the things that your avatar are asking you to help them with. So the most important thing is do your market research to find out the needs, the wants, the prices. Also do a SWOT analysis to see what's out there and what you can compare it to, but also get in touch with the emotion of your avatar, of how important this is, what they really need from you. If your course is saying, everyone else does this, but this is the bit that I really need, then that's what you obviously need to include in your course to make sure that it's hitting that need. Have we got a question?
Yeah, so Kat's just joined us and is going to watch from the start in a short while. But more importantly, Marva's asking, what other questions might you ask them to find out what they need right now?
Okay, so go back up. We can put the link in, Marva, to the Facebook Live that we did around, it was called How Are You Pivoting, I think it was called.
Yeah.
but not that I frigging hate that word now because everyone's talking
I know
about
it's like want to go back and rename that, but okay.
but you look at when we did the one in the Connection Hub, we said, okay, this is what's going on with coronavirus, and we actually put a poll out, and the thing we said, tell us what you need the most with. We had the online courses was the top one. We had how to use Zoom was another one, which we did an hour and a half training on. We did how to live stream live events, which we did with Matthew Hughes. So we responded, and we had a few others, which we are always responding to in order of priority of what you wanted first. So polls are a great way because you're not actually putting the words in their mouth and sort of biasing or swaying their decision.
Yeah.
But I have the conversations with my clients. I just phone them up and go, okay, so what's going on? Where are you at? Has your income been affected? Has your clients been affected? Has your cash flow, your prospecting flow changed? What do you need? What do you need? Coach or
that one
to help you through this process. And sometimes, Marva, they don't know.
Yeah.
That's where you put your consultative hat on, and then they go, okay, so what's the end result that you need to solve? You might not know how to solve it or what we need to focus on, but what's the end goal?
Yeah.
And then help them come up with a plan of what they need to focus on.
And that's where your perspective from your knowledge can actually help. So just even observing and watching the questions that people are asking, the trends that are going on in the conversations that they're having, that leads you to ask the questions about the kinds of questions you might want to ask, if that makes sense.
And we talk about this in the course, but it's not just looking at Coronaville time, right? We want to get out of just being Corona tunnel visioned.
Yeah.
What we do is we spend time in Facebook groups, other Facebook groups where our ideal client hangs out, and we see the frequently asked questions. Yep. We make notes of them, we record them, we tally them, we're looking at it all the time. So we can go, look, this is one of our other courses is basically how to discover your purpose as a speaker, author, or coach, not just your life purpose, yep. But how you serve, how you monetize, articulate, because people can never articulate their purpose. Right. And so how you identify, articulate, and monetize it. They were the things that we were seeing coming up all the time, where people were disconnected with their purpose and were just doing their coaching or speaking as a job, but they weren't feeling aligned. So we decided to create an online course for that. That was outside of Coronaville, and we were listening to people's concerns and questions all the time. So don't just think that, seed launching, in my opinion, is one of the best ways to get the most information from your client and actually get the content and the language and the emotion and beta test a lot of the stuff as well.
And one of the things that as speakers, authors and coaches, and particularly coaches, sort of when they're being taught the skills of what they're doing, curiosity is the state to be in when you are thinking about the courses that you are making. Being really curious about what is going on outside. So again, using those, the SWOT analysis type of areas, what is going on? How does what I have support that? And what are people asking? So just being curious, that accessing that state will bring up the possibility questions that will then get you more information.
Yeah.
So
don't miss out the market research step, please. And
don't.
Asking people what they would pay for that, right? When they know the content, when they know the outcome, what they know, how it's going to be delivered, how long the course was, all that type of stuff. Do the research onto how much that they would be willing. Do it in brackets, as I think Helena was just about to say. Guidelines under 50 quid, 50 to 150, blah blah.
That's exactly it. So one of the things that we did in the courses, and you'll find this, for those of you that know us well, for those of you who don't, welcome, this is us. We're very thorough, and we do like to make sure that you plan before you do anything, so that it actively is a consumable and valuable working piece that actually goes out in the world. We don't want you to ever waste your efforts or time or attention, right? So one of the core things for us is really to ensure that we give you some step-by-step bits that allow you to set your program up for success, if you like. And Tim did ask earlier, does this work for info products as well? And actually, yes, it does. Obviously, it's going to be a stripped-back version of it, but the planning for it and the market research, etc., is still going to be relevant. So those are some of the things that go in. So let's go back to, so you've had, too long, too much information, all of that. One of the other things that we absolutely see a lot of the time is when people don't cater for different learning styles. You know, people learn in different ways. Some of you are observing this. Kelly and I are big examples of this, you know, like how she consumes a course and how I consume a course are two very different things, which is also interesting when you are creating things. So here's the thing. Many of you will think about creating your course in the style that you like to learn in. But your avatar may be nothing like that. So if you like to listen a lot and your avatar loves a visual and you simply do a lot of listening, they're going to switch off. So you need to blend, right? You need to actively do. We'll let you work out what Kelly and I are. We won't give you any clues as to what.
For people that don't under the three main learning styles.
Just going to get there. Yeah. So you have, you know, sort of, and the NLPers will definitely know this language. You have auditory, people who love to listen. You have visual people who love to see things and are stimulated by the visuals. Although all of us do have a visual tendency because 70% of the world is presented in the visuals and information is coming in. But you also have people who are touchy-feelies, the kinesthetic ones. That would be me. You know, sort of, and definitely not Kelly. but so here's the thing: you need to engage them in different ways. You need to present your information in different ways. And in fact, actually, we even had a conversation yesterday about this inside our Changemaker Q&A. Every Monday we do a questions and answer session. In terms of live, just even how you are structuring the way you ask questions or structuring the way you present the knowledge that you have. You know, you can be instructional, you can tell them what to do, you can be invitational, you can kind of entice them in and tease them a little bit, or you can simply deliver the information and tell them what they can do with it, so that there's options in there. So there's one set of presentation skills, but there's also this set of how are you actively delivering that? Are you making them do an exercise? Are you telling them something? Are you showing them? Are you demoing something? And mixing all of those things up is what is going to create a brilliant course, because you're going to keep them on their toes the whole time. And gamification absolutely kind of sits in here as well. We are in a world where there is an instant hit, a buzz from completion or from doing something. So building that in can also help. The biggest key here is the balance between delivery and doing, that you are actively making them realize they are making progress so they continue to the end of the course.
Okay, so let me just...
As you can see, we're quite passionate about this.
And poor, like, people like Amy and Steve have only just joined, so you're going to have to go back and learn the other points that we've covered, so watch the replay. But we've done the mistakes people make: too much info, too long, not doing market research and not doing testing. And Helena just covered the not catering for different learning styles. Mm-hmm. Now, we know, whether this is online courses or just life, our ideal client, one of the biggest hang-ups is technology, right? Yes. What normally stops most people, and this is poor people like Andrea, who's just learned Zoom, who now needs to learn MS Teams and stuff. It's a bit of a nightmare. So one of our skills and one of our geekiness is demystifying tech for people, making it practical, demystifying the jargon, giving you step-by-step practical approaches through this. And in this course, we've done that. But this is one of the things that we find that gets people stuck on creating courses. Yeah. One is the fact that they don't understand things like filming kit lists. What do I use? What tech do I use? What microphone? What lighting? What editing software? Blah, 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 blah. So, of course, we give you a whole load of different kits for different budgets, but also for the purpose that your course is going to serve for your avatar. So this is all within the course that we've done. But one of the things that we wanted to highlight, which we have been talking to a few people about and got good responses, is demystifying where to host your online course. Yes. Helena mentioned this earlier, that you have what we call marketplaces and LMS, which is learning management systems. Or software. So therefore, this is the choice that you have to make. Not, you can do both, but most people want to start with one of where is it best for you to host. And there is no right or wrong answer. Like we say with everything, we give you the platforms to make that decision for yourself, but we give you the information like a greenhouse effect. So as I said before, marketplaces are the places that you've probably heard of: Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, Groupon, all these types of places that already have a wide audience of customers, and they will host the course on their platform and basically will market it for you. Now, some people are on there and have never got any sales, but it's all down to the popularity of the course, the keywords, how it's marketed. And there's some people that get their main digital income from Udemy. We know lots of people that do that.
Yeah.
So they build up their trainer profile, they get lots of reviews, they're up there in the featured section. Now, one of the things is with marketplaces, people don't often realize, they think, oh, it's great, I'm going to do that because I don't have to do the marketing.
Yeah.
However, if you're using your course to fit into a funnel of a user journey where you're taking your clients from this point here where they've got a problem all the way through to your IP and your flagship content, don't get their customer details when they're on a marketplace.
Yep.
You can't then email or contact them or invite them into your Facebook group or whatever it is to continue that relationship with them after they've bought that course. So people go, what? Do I not get that? It's a bit like selling your book on Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? If your book's on Amazon, you get loads of sales because they've got the customers, but you don't know who's bought the bloody book. So you invite them onto your coaching program, whatever it is, after the process.
Yeah.
It's a payoff for you. Now, LMSs, for example, you own the data, you own the content, you actually put the course content up there. And so you have much more bespoke control over what it looks like, the functionality, all the gamification Helena was just talking about. You have a lot more control, but a lot of people will either have to learn that tech themselves. And it's for a lot of them, like especially the one that we use quite a lot is Thinkific. It's pretty simple once you've got your head around it. It's a drag and drop feature, so you don't have to learn code or anything like that. But you still have to learn the tech. You still have to be dedicated to do that, or outsource it to a VA or somebody who can do that for you. And we've got lots of people to put you in touch with. Just look at our directory for people. Yeah. But this is one of the things. So we want you to get your head around that as a decision to make about where you're going to host them. And Helena, I don't know if you've done it already, darling, but she's going to.
I have, yeah. It actually it's gone in twice, so it's up at the top and just now.
That will basically is a free download, and that shows you the various different platforms where you can host your courses and all the features that they offer and the prices and whether they offer free trials and all that stuff, because we couldn't find this information in one place. Yeah. We have to search 50 different websites, pick out all the things to create this chart for you. So it's a really simple comparative guide. And we've also added on there the questions you need to think about to ask the LMS provider or the marketplace provider, so you know that it's the right content place for you. Because just like CRM systems, when people go, what should I use, ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft? Nobody bloody knows except you, because you know your business and you know what you want to use it for. It's exactly the same with course hosting platforms, right? You know your budget, you know your client, you know what you want to do. I'm going to get off my soapbox because Helena's looking at me like I'm shouting.
I'm looking at you like, oh my God, like Kelly, they get it, babe. They get it. Like it's okay. For those of you who like to see her rant, I just thought I'd let her continue for a little while, but I also know that you've got jobs to get back to. Project.
Download the content.
Yeah, that'll be the one. What I was actually going to say about that is that that is it's a comprehensive list, but it's not an extensive list, which is why we added the questions in. What we really want for you as a speaker, author, or coach is to make decisions about your business. You are running a business. What we are here to do is help you run your business as efficiently as you possibly can. And so the questions are there to support you to actively do that. Go on.
Laughing, but I just want to add one thing on there. So for us, our short courses are all hosted on Thinkific. But our membership courses that are in our platform are actually using LearnDash.
LearnDash, not Teachable. LearnDash.
We wanted different functionalities. So again, it's not always a one size fits all. You've got to know the purpose of the course, but I'm not going to shut up because everyone's laughing at me now.
Yeah, I know. It's like, ha, 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 ha. And it's sort of, I'm observing that happen. So Kelly alluded to this already. So, we've done not catering to learning styles, confusion about the platform that you use, the too long, too much, etc. But one of the biggest things for us, one of the biggest bugbears is that you likely know a lot of stuff. And you likely could even, but Marva, back to your question, you might even go, oh, I could do a course on this. But when you look at the whole of you and what you stand for, your green flag in the sand, for those of you that sort of know that analogy of ours, there is something here about not just doing something for the sake of doing something, but having something that fits with who you are, what you teach, what you stand for, and that actively moves them along in the user journey that you're taking them on. So if you are doing a short course, it may well be that you are doing the problem right at the very beginning, and you're tackling a short, one problem with a short course that then leads them into knowing you well, understanding who you are, connecting with you, liking your style, liking how you do what you do, so that you then get permission from them to take you. They go on the journey with you, and there is a finite space and time that they're on the journey with you for. For some, that's years. For some, that's 6 months. But your topic, your subject area expertise, your course needs to fit into that, so that there isn't a disconnect in some way around, why are you doing something on effective meetings? That doesn't make any sense. Sure, it's a part of it, but it doesn't make any sense in terms of the problems that I'm solving and what stage I'm actually at. So that's part of that market research, but it's also what am I focused on, and how does it fit with everything else I teach and show up about? I hope that makes sense.
And what helps with that, and we have done a live on your product range, go and see it in our recordings. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure it's got product range in the title.
Yeah.
But what happens is, because people find it quite exhausting to launch and promote online courses, because they feel they're constantly having to market it. But actually, if you look at the user journey that we've mapped out for you, and it's one of our frameworks, is that if you put your attention on the early stage problems that people are Googling and they already know they have the questions about, and you have short courses that basically meet those needs, just like, how do I create online courses? It's something that's a highly searched for term, questions are asked all the time. You can put the link to that and do promotional lives, do webinars about it, whatever it might be. But then once they're in your world and they've got a great result and they've built a relationship up with you and they really respect your expertise and your insights, then you don't have to do a lot of selling and lots of promo and lots of launch strategies for your higher end retreats, flagship programs, one-to-one coaching, because that's done via nurturing them in a community like our hub, email broadcasts that are regular, newsletters, things like that. So it actually feels like less of a sell, because you're actually saying, okay, now you knew how to solve online courses. Do you know how to then, create membership sites using them? Do you now know how to make that 60% of your income and actually have a business plan that has that revenue? That's the next steps that they didn't know they needed to think about, but
that's right.
They trust you now. So that's what we're talking about in this user journey. And I saw you laugh, and we've got more comments.
I'll go through them. Tim's made a very, very good point. So in terms of making sure you use a platform that takes care of EU digital VAT for you, unless you really want that headache, we definitely don't. So that is one of the questions that we highlight. Tarina said, I looked at LearnDash, it looks great. I have a WordPress site, but using Thinkific for my first course as a drop and drag. And that's a really good thing, right? Because you want to be able to, some of this is about speed to market and what you can get set up, but also, again, part of the user journey kind of piece is, how do you want your business model set up? What do you actively want it to do? So absolutely perfectly acceptable, and you can switch over time. The one that made me laugh, so David Hood was saying, great session, makes a huge difference to the usual whiz bang shouty videos and sessions promising the earth. We are definitely,
we know a lot of those people.
Yes, that's right. And what we are doing our best to do is revolutionize the speaker, author, coach industry to not have a lot of that. So I'm glad we're hitting the mark there. But Marva made me laugh.
Fur coat, no knickers types of girls.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So Marva made me laugh simply with this. She said, we need a course for this. There are so many elements to consider. I agree.
Great about Marva. We'll give you some details on it in a minute, but let me give you one more point.
One more.
Okay, because I know that we're
we're pushing the edges of the longest one here.
So this is something, especially for the UK market, and specifically for those that are thinking of creating longer flagship courses. So these are the ones that are normally are a few £1,000, 7-8 hours, but they're not the ones that you have the first touch point in the user journey with. These are your signature courses. Now in the UK, the research that's been done is that they're less likely, the consumers are less likely to complete a course if there isn't any accountability or access to the trainer, live access to them. And in America, they just must be trained this way or wired this way to actually just go, okay, I'm going to do an online course. I know it's just going to be me. They must have more willpower or something. I don't know what it is, or they're just used to this. In the UK, we need a little bit of hand holding. We need a little bit of support. We need a cup of tea to go with our learning, all that type of stuff. So it's something.
And dare I say it, whilst we're not talking specifically about Corona, at the moment, you may also want to consider connection, because people don't want to be isolated in some way. So that could be the standout piece. So I'm just going to say that bit.
And we've changed that in our Changemaker group, as Helena said earlier. Every Monday we do a Q&A. Now that is normally type us questions for an hour and we'll respond. During Coronaville, we're doing a live Zoom so people get to see and speak and have some human connection rather than just type and text. So yes, it might be that you adapt this during this awful time that we're in. Well, actually, I'm quite liking it, but anyway. So my point here is
liking the isolation bit. She's not liking the grand bits.
So with signature courses, we would say it's really encouraging for you to add in Q&A sessions, webinars, maybe even onboarding calls when people start the course, to really get them fired up and actually know why they're doing it and give them a roadmap to complete it. Because the reason why you're doing online courses is to support people. And most people, it's like 80% of people won't complete your course. And this is just real insight. And, don't beat yourself up about it. No matter how engaging you make it, most of the time, most people don't complete online courses. So you can increase this percentage by having these access to you sessions. Because the reason people don't complete courses is they normally get stuck on a module or a question, and then they have got nobody to ask to actually get clarification and to move them over that road bump. So that's when doing a weekly Q&A session, anyone got stuck, anyone got anything that you want me to help them with or give more clarity on, or it's the fact that they're just procrastinating. And so if you involve accountability sessions, what are you going to do this week? Have you done it? Submit your homework, blah, blah, blah. This keeps people on that momentum and they feel like, oh, I'm only going to get access to this expert for 6 weeks. I need to make sure I'm dedicated in doing the time around that.
Yeah.
Or you could do extra teachers of live webinars, as we said, to go a little bit deeper into some of the areas that people might have had more questions on while doing the course. Yeah. So having access and more accountability built into programs is really important to help people complete them. However, when we're talking about pricing your product, something for like under 200 quid, you don't want to be swapping time for money for that type of program, right? No. You're looking at more the signature, the high-end programs, and that's why they are there, because they get your insight and your support and your guidance. So it's just another thing to think about.
Yeah, completely. So Taruna's just popped in there that it's National Tea Day today, apparently. I don't know where that came in from, but obviously working on that, as well as, no, it's not gin, it is just water. So it's all good. Now, here's the thing. We've just spent nigh on an hour kind of touching on some of the things to consider so that you don't make the mistakes that we have definitely helped people not make over the years. And making online courses, it's a big undertaking, but with the right structure, you can actively simply work it through. And like anything, I don't know about you, but if you have a list of things to do, you can literally just crack on with them. And that's a really good thing. So if this is something that you are definitely working on and you want to get some support with, our Delivered Digitally course is full, absolutely chocker, as you can imagine, of support that will help you from that planning stage, right at the beginning to the end, where you are crafting and creating and you are proud of the course that you've made that is going to fix the one problem for a short course that you are actively going to make. So, you know, yeah, it's there.
And like we said at the beginning of this, what we cover is, and it's a 90-minute program. All modules are 10 minutes long, but there are a huge amount of resources for you to go and explore and work on top of that. It's just the video element will take you an hour and a half to work through. And in there, we've covered everything to how to identify what the topic is, the course content that you're going to actually create. Then I'm just going to say this one for Taruna. Also, to get over imposter syndrome around, are you the right person to be able to deliver this? Because this is, as we said to you before,
Massive
expertise. And that if you can't get over yourself to go, oh, who's going to listen to me? Then you're not going to, there's no point us talking about filming kit lists and platforms and stuff, because you haven't got over the first hurdle. So yes, of course, we'll deal with the, what am I going to teach about? And am I the right person to teach this? We'll go through, as Helena alluded to, that customer journey. So some of you won't have a user journey mapped out for yourself. So we'll help you create that and look at where this course fits along with all the other products that you might already have or that you might want to create. And then that will help you understand the marketing plan of how everything fits together and how you're going to market the course. Then we go down to, how do you structure a module? How do you structure it so that it's engaging? How much do you do to camera? Do you do slides? All of those things. We give you a filming kit list, like I mentioned to you before. We give you all the ways to actually create different learning style engagements. So probably about 10 or 15 ways for auditory, for kinesthetic, for visual learners. We teach you how to film it, so how to frame the pictures, all the various kit that you can use. We give you an understanding of where to host videos, which is different to where to host the actual courses, the LMSs and marketplaces that we've got the link for you to download. We give you advice basically on editing, on creating things and all that type of stuff, down to how to name your course, how to price your course, and how to market it, right? It's jam-packed. It's taken us 2 weeks. We've half killed ourselves.
We've been very busy extracting all the information and really putting ourselves in the shoes of you, our avatar, so that we could help you understand what you need, as Kelly's just gone through, to be able to actively create something that is going to help people. And that's really our intention, right? So
I'm going to put a link into at the bottom, and also we're going to be nice to you, obviously.
so I don't get to say that bit then.
Well, I just said we were going to be nice to them, right?
So here's the thing, right? So as Kelly's just said, you know, we are putting this in here, and because we made this in the 2 weeks in response to the coronavirus, the course is normally 147. We're giving you £100 discount, and we're just saying have it for £47, because you need to take what's in your head and get it out in the world, because we know that you are change makers. You are people who have the information, the problem solving skills for the problems that people are facing right now. So we really invite you to take all of that and turn it into something useful and amazing for others.
We would love, we're going to give it to you for 47 while we're in lockdown. Now we know for at least another 3 weeks, so don't dilly-dally. We'll go back up. But also, my point is that, you know, this is an exclusive offer for you guys that are in our world. And we would love for you, in exchange for that, to review it once you've done it. And, you know, there's a review piece on there that you can tell us whether you want to do it publicly or privately. We'd love the feedback. And we'd love to know how you get on with it. But mainly, we want to see the courses that you create from it.
Yeah, and you know, sort of the whole thing around that is that, you know, that once a month inside, you know, inside the Connection Hub, we have a What's Your Offer. Basically, that was last week. So you have 3.5 weeks to go and get that made. That is a nice deadline for you to actively promote your What's My Offer piece.
People, yeah.
I didn't actually plan that in, but I realized that that's actually the post that went out last week. So it's kind of cool.
Said, if you have a place we can link to more widely, do shout. What does that mean?
What does that mean, Tim?
If you have a place we can link to more widely. I have no idea.
Do you mean a link?
So you can share that link out, Tim. If you're talking about the link and the discount, you can share that link. And if you want to share the promo code, then just do it, right? Just give it. We're just giving that £100 off during lockdown, and then it will go up when we go up. But if that's what your question is, then please don't feel that this is only for people.
It's not only,
No.
Anyone who can support anybody at the moment by creating a short course needs to know this information. Please share it out with them. We would really appreciate that.
And if you're watching the replay, then we always watch and read all your comments. So just tag us, put some comments in, ask any questions if you're watching this on the catch up. I know some of you are going to go back and watch it from the beginning because you came in halfway through. But
and for those of you who know us really well through these hour-long Kelly soapboxy sort of beautifulness is that we do. Actually, you'll see that we also do have the ability to be short, sharp and sweet around a specific thing. So even that might be fun for many of you to actively engage with. Can't wait to see what you do. Please ask us your questions. Just really excited to unveil that and show you what's possible. Many blessings. Have a great week. Bye.